everyone, welcome down Home Crypto. I'm Serenity, and in this episode, we're going to jump into the ThorFi migration, what we need to do beforehand, how that's going to look, and then we're going to really dive into the gamification reward system that's going to happen after it's been migrated. But first, if you would please do me a huge favor, take a moment, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and click that bell notification so you're alerted every time I upload a new video, because some of this information can be time sensitive. This is one of those times. Most importantly, as always, please talk to a friend, a coworker, a family member. Let them know they don't have to be tech savvy or college educated or rich. They simply have to have a desire to change their life and a courage to follow that dream. And they too can join us on this great crypto adventure. So without further ado, let's go dive into ThorFi. Okay, everyone, as the slide said, the migration for ThorFi is going to occur on December 30th. So try to make sure you get these pieces done. You will have some time to do it, but make sure you cover this video or these details at least before you try to migrate, okay? Because you could lose some valuable stuff. Okay, two things I need to tell you before we jump into the migration process and all that. These are pre-migration checks that I highly recommend you do, okay? So number one, people have asked about the rewards right here, okay? You do not have to claim your rewards before migration, okay? At migration time, when you move this over, it will automatically claim any rewards, tax them with the current node tax system, and then any profits will go to the new Dapp. Okay, so there's nothing you have to do with your rewards. Don't worry about them. They will move over already taxed and in your wallet. Okay, but now the second piece of information, this part is super critical. Okay, go to your nodes tab, check your status, make sure everything is in good standing, because when you migrate your nodes over to go from a node to an NFT that's going to occur, anything that is in inactive status will be deleted. Lost, gone, kaput, bye-bye. And they will be unrecoverable. Okay, so before you go through the migration process, if you want to keep that node, make sure it's in the active state. Those are just a couple things I wanted to share with you before we started really diving into this. And I built an amazing spreadsheet, and I want to give a special shout out to Abyss from the ThorFi protocol, the head mod over there. I sent him this spreadsheet last night. Asked him, hey, check this over, make sure everything is correct. And he did. He responded right away. He dove through it. He gave me a couple corrections on my spelling. Thank you, Abyss. So special thanks to the Abyss and the ThorFi team, because they are always on there, always ready to help. And that's one reason I personally have been part of ThorFi since the very, very beginning. Okay, so this is a spreadsheet I built to try to cover the whole ThorFi migration and the gamification. Now, I'm going to put a link to this in the description down below, so that way you can open it up yourself, you can go through it, print it out, whatever you need to do as you're doing your process and your gamification. Okay, so first thing it talks about, this top section is all about before the migration and how that's going to move. Okay, so the green is before, the migration is the tan, and the dark blue is what it's going to be after migration. Okay, so let's take it piece by piece. So the first, current rewards, like I talked about a minute ago, they will be claimed pending rewards at node's current tax rate, and those will be moved. Rewards will be deposited into the new Dapp, okay? So the rewards take care of themselves. Pretty straightforward. Now the nodes, you've got your Heimdall, your Freya, your Thor, and your Odin, okay? These are the nodes we have right now before migration. Now, the confusing part to start with. Okay, now Heimdall and Freya's. Now they will be calculated in a lump sum of the two together, and that will output a Thor origin NFT. Okay, I know it's confusing, but your Heimdalls are a 10-to-1 ratio, and your Freyas are a 2-to-1 ratio. Okay, and the totals will be rounded up. So let's do a hypothetical real quick. Let's say you have 6 Heimdalls and you have 3 Freyas. Okay, now with the conversion rate, your 6 Heimdalls isn't enough to make 1 Thor. Okay, so we got 0.6 of a Thor right now. Your 3 Freyas is enough to make 1.5 Thors, okay? So if you add those two together, it gives you a 2.1 Thor NFTs. We can't have a 0.1 NFT. So it's going to round it up to 3 Thor NFTs, okay? So whatever Heimdalls and Freyas you have with that ratio of the 10-to-1 and 2-to-1, simply do the math, add them together, and round up to the next whole number. That's how many NFTs you're going to get from your Freyas and Heimdalls. Okay, so if you have any questions on that, please jump to the Discord, ask them, leave it in the comments below. I will help you out whenever I can. Okay, so now on your Thor nodes and your Odin nodes, okay, these are going to migrate at a ratio of 1-to-1 on both of them. But they're going to do a maximum of 40 NFTs per batch. Now, I don't know how we're going to run that if we just say, hey, migrate all of them and it does it all at once, but it's going to chop it in batches, or if we have to do it multiple times. Okay. Until I go through the process, I won't know exactly how that's going to work. Just know they did say a maximum of 40 nodes to NFT conversions per batch. Okay. But that lets you know that at the end of the migration, your rewards will be in the new Dapp. Your Thor origin node NFTs will be in the new Dapp based on the Heimdall, Freya's, and Thors that you have. And your new Odin origin node NFTs will also be migrated into the new Dapp. So we'll have 3 things in the new Dapp instead of the 5 we have currently in the old Dapp. Okay? So that's the migration process. And once that migration comes out, I will make a video on actually doing the migration step by step so I can walk you guys through it. Okay, so here we are. Migration's done. We're sitting there with our Thor origin node NFTs and our Odin origin node NFTs, okay? Now this flowchart, I tried to make it where it's color coordinated and it kind of goes in a pattern and keeps things together. So hopefully it works for us. We're about to find out. The first most critical piece I need to let you know is about the VRR, or variable return rate, okay? Currently our system is that every node makes an exact amount of Thor tokens every day, constantly, never ending. Well, the trick is, especially in a bear market, that is unsustainable. This is going to help by giving us a return rate based on the health of the ecosystem, okay? So it's going to take in key performance indicators, and those are going to be calculated out every 24 hours. That's going to include things like the Capsule Marketplace, the Bifrost, the pool rewards, and even Trader Joe. Okay, now there is a VRR white paper that really lists and digs this out, and I'll put that in a link in the description down below as well, because there's a lot of pieces just for this VRR by itself, okay? Biggest thing to know is there will be a variable return rate on all of our nodes and all of our returns, and it's recalculated every 24 hours. Okay, so now that we've talked about the VRR here, you can see the green arrows. Now that VRR will be applied to both our Thor origin node NFTs and to our Odin origin node NFTs, okay? But how is that going to play out? So let's go through each of these independently. We'll start with the Thor origin node NFTs. Now, after migration, the cost of these are going to go up to 20 Thor. Now that's at launch. After launch, it's going to become dynamic based on the health of the ecosystem. Okay, the daily rewards. Now, this is where the VRR comes into play. Okay, so your VRR calculation divided by 5 is going to be your daily earnings. And every day that VRR is going to change. So take whatever the VRR is for that day, divided by 5, that number is your return for that day. Okay, so they're estimating that the Thor origin node is going to have a 0.016 to 0.07 Thor per day. Okay, that's kind of the max and the min they're aiming for. So it's a range. Okay, now the good thing is there is no longer a claim tax to claim your rewards. Okay, so the VR is taking care of all that. There's no more claim tax. There is still a monthly maintenance fee. Now this is also going to be kind of dynamic because, as we know, the price of Thor changes. So the monthly maintenance fee is going to be the Thor price currently times your 30-day rewards times 0.25, okay? So essentially it's 25% of your earnings in a 30-day time frame is what it's going to end up costing for your maintenance fee. Now, also, each NFT can use up to 2 perks at a time. Okay, so think about it this way. Your NFT has pockets, a left and a right pocket, and that's where it's going to stick its perks. It can only have up to 2 perks at a time. Yes, it can run just 1. Yes, it can run with none. And perks we'll get to down below when we get to the capsules, okay? So that kind of covers the whole Thor origin node NFTs. Let's jump over here to the side, the Odin origin node NFTs. Now, same thing, the VRR, same number applies to it as we can see. Now, the cost of a node at launch is going to be 100 Thor tokens, okay? After that, they're going to go dynamic for the cost of the NFT, okay? So launch is 100 Thor. After that, dynamic pricing on it. Okay, the daily rewards, that equals your VRR. As we saw over here, the Thor one is VRR divided by 5. Odin is just straight VRR. Now, they're estimating the VRR to be between 0.08 to 0.35 Thor per day. So that kind of gives you an idea of the range, the rewards you're going to get per Odin origin NFT, okay? Now, monthly maintenance fee, the exact same thing. The Thor price times your 30-day rewards times the 0.25. So again, your monthly maintenance fee is essentially 25% of your monthly rewards. Okay, now again, each NFT can use up to 2 perks at a time. Same thing. The Odin node has 2 pockets, and you can put up to 2 perks at a time per node. Okay, so now that we understand what an origin node NFT kind of does, whether it be a Thor origin node or an Odin origin node NFT. Okay, now that can sit there and that can earn. That's fine. That's what we've been doing for months. And you know what? It works great. But the game time says we have two more options we can go with if we so choose. This is where it's going to get interesting. So at the point of your NFT, you can leave it there and earn, or you can take one of two other paths. Okay, the first one we're going to do is we're going to go down to the transformation. Now, transformation is going to occur through the marketplace. You can transform your Thor origin node NFT into a Thor drift node NFT. Okay, why would you do that? Well, let's go see. So if we go down here to the Thor drift node transformation, once you transform it, its transformation will only occur for 90 days. Super critical. Once it is a drift node, it will only exist for 90 days. Okay. Now, the reason for that is you have a chance of increased rewards. So instead of just earning your 0.016 to 0.07 Thor per day, you have a chance to multiply it. Now, it could multiply to just 1 times and get the exact same thing for 90 days. But it could go 1.5, 2 times, 3 times, 5 times, 10 times, or 100 times. Yes, there is a chance. Now, transform more nodes at once for a higher multiplier. So essentially, if you take one node, you can transform it down and you have a likelihood of getting an average of a 2x multiplier for 90 days, okay? But let's say you take 5 of them at once. You take all 5 to the transformation. Now that gives you an average of a 2.5x transformation reward, okay? And if you have 10, then you get an average of about a 3x across the board, okay? So you do have the chance to get the 100x. Not gonna lie to you. But of course, the higher multiplier is less likely to occur. So just so you know that, yes, the more nodes you transform at one time, the higher average you're more likely to get. Okay, so that's taken in during transformation, the calculations and your odds of getting that 10x or 100x. Okay, so just so you're aware of that. Now, what happens after the 90 days? Well, anytime during that 90 days, you are allowed to go ahead and transform it into a Thor drift keycard. Okay. Now, if you do not do it during the course of the 90 days, at the end of 90 days, it will automatically transform into that Thor drift keycard, okay? So please understand, regardless, at the end of 90 days, your drift node will transform into a keycard and it will stop earning. Now, if we look over at the Odin origin node NFTs, and if we go through the transformation process, it's going to do the exact same thing. Chance of increased rewards, only for 90 days, the same multipliers, the same odds of getting 1 node is 2x, 5 nodes is 2.5x, and 10 nodes is a 3x average, okay? So these two squares are exactly the same, except this one is for Thor and this one is for Odin. Why is that important? That's because once you have key cards, okay, once they transform, you end up with a Thor drift key card here and an Odin drift key card here. Now, if you have one Thor keycard and one Odin keycard, you can fuse them together to make a drift burn capsule, okay? Okay, now you have a drift burn capsule. But what does that mean, right? Right. Remember those perks we talked about you can apply up top to your origin nodes? Those perks come out of capsules, okay? So that's what we're really going for. So this is a drift burn capsule, not to be confused down below, a different type of burn capsule, okay? So drift, keep that in mind, drift burn capsule. Now, when it's minted, those capsules come sealed. Now you can sell a sealed capsule on the marketplace, or you can break the seal. Now, when you break that seal, that is when the Chainlink VRF chooses your perk that's contained within the capsule. Okay, so the same capsule, whether it's today or tomorrow when it's opened, could have different perks. So keep that in mind. For a drift burn capsule, you have a 75% chance of getting a 35% temporary reward boost to an origin node. Okay, you have a 20% chance of getting a Thor token voucher. And I have no idea what the amounts of those vouchers are, just Thor tokens. Okay, hopefully we'll get some more information. You have a 5% chance of creating a 10% permanent reward boost to your origin up top. Okay, so that's a big one right there. You only got a 5% shot, but if you get it, a 10% permanent boost to one of the origin nodes up top. Now remember, you can have 2 perks per origin node. So if you were to get that twice, you could add a 20% boost to an origin up top. Okay, so that is why you want to drift capsule. Now some of the details with it. Capsules are closed when created. Talked about that. Closed capsules may be sold at the marketplace. Yes, they can. Chainlink VFR chooses your perk contained within the capsule when it's opened. Really critical there. Perks. Now, the perks can also be sold on the marketplace. I'm pretty much guessing that a sealed capsule is probably going to have a much higher value than an open perk that's, say, the 35% temporary boost, because those people buying those capsules, they're hoping inside is that 10% permanent boost. So you probably have better odds of selling a sealed capsule than you do selling the perk itself. But you never know. You might be selling that golden ticket that has that 10% permanent boost. So that's up to your game strategy, your theory, and what you're going for. Now, perks may only be applied to origin node NFTs. Super critical here, guys. The perk can only go up here to the origins. They cannot be applied to the drifts, okay? Drift is already earning an increased reward, so yeah, you cannot apply a perk to something that's already earning extra on top of it, okay? So that's what you get out of the origin burn capsule. Now, you might be saying, hey, Serenity, man, I don't want to go through all that mess. That's 90 days. No, that's a train wreck. I don't want to wait. I want my capsule and I want it now. Guess what? You can't. So if you go back to the top here, see these blue lines coming out the side of our original origin node NFTs on both sides? Chase those down. And you see they come down here to a Thor origin burn NFT and an Odin origin burn NFT. So up here, these were drift NFTs. These are origin burn NFTs, okay? So you can take your origins, you can immediately go to the marketplace and burn them straight down to a burn NFT. Now that's going to give you a Thor origin burn keycard and an Odin origin burn keycard. Now, once you have the two origin burn keycards, you can fuse those together to make an origin burn capsule, okay? So just like the drift burn capsule up top, the exact same properties exist, but there are a couple variations, and that's why you might want to play this a little different, whether you go through the top layer or you jump around it and go straight down here to the origin burn. Okay, so the origin burn capsule has a 70% chance of giving a 50% temporary reward boost, okay? Has a 20% chance of giving a Thor token voucher, and has a 10% chance of giving a 10% permanent reward boost. Now let's compare these two real quick. So the drift gave you a 75% chance of 35%. Origin gives you a 70% chance of a 50%. So 15% higher temporary reward boost, 5% less odds, okay? 20% chance of a Thor token voucher. That's exactly the same on both. The big kicker down here. This has a 10% chance of a 10% permanent boost. Up here, we only had a 5% chance. So essentially, this one gives you double the chance of getting that 10% permanent boost. Why would they do that? Because up here, when you run through this process, you're already getting increased rewards during this whole 90 days. But if you skip by those increased rewards and just jump straight to burning it into a capsule, then you have a better chance of getting that 10% boost. So it really depends on the game theory that you're playing with and which one you think is going to be the most profitable. The whole thing is to get those perks and either apply them up to your origin nodes or to sell them on the marketplace to get the best bang for the buck. Okay, so I think that about covers the white paper, the migration, the concerns we have of making sure that our nodes are active before migrating, and all the details there. Now, I've got a couple news announcements I want to share with you that came up on the Discord while I was recording this. The first one says the AVAX Thor liquidity pool was scheduled to be launched on January 1st. But they've already launched it. So right now you can get into the AVAX liquidity pool, and I'll put a link to that in the description down below in case that's something you want to get into. The next thing is that the Capsule Marketplace has already launched. Now, that's through Discord. So I'm going to put a link to that Discord channel in the description down below as well, so you can get on there, find out how it's going to work, and we can get to know that as well. But I've got one more thing. You see, I want to pay it forward because you guys have been so great about following and helping me grow the channel and really getting this information out there to your friends and the community and everyone else. So I want to pay it back. So I'm going to create a Gleam contest where I'm going to give away an origin burn capsule to one of the viewers. So 1 week from today, I'm going to record the creation of a capsule and I'm going to give that capsule away to whoever wins this contest. So I'll put a link in the description down below for that Gleam contest. Just my way of saying thank you for supporting the channel and to helping get this information out there. So as always, thank you for your time and have a great night.